pastor who was his pastor, this wife attacked. I'm sorry, this woman assaulted the bishop Noel Jones' wife Loretta. Now, I've heard about this church before, and I heard about Bishop Noel's church before, and the thing is that we need to pray for our servants in ministry. This is what someone said. We need to pray for the protection of our servants in ministry. We're going to talk about that, and I'm praying for them. Yes, I am praying for them. But I'm also going to share with you that some of these pastors have spiritually did a lot of spiritual wounding to a lot of people that played on the minds of the weak, and they play on some of these people's on the level of their growth or where they're coming from their life experiences, um especially when they get up there in the church and they feed you this false teaching. And when I say false teaching is that they not sometimes these pastors they not keeping it real about that's why it's so important for you to go through your scriptures. If you go to church, it's nothing wrong with going to church. Everybody needs to get out and sometimes be around other believers, and y'all get together and congregate together and be there for one another and all that. But the thing is that sometimes people get caught up in these churches, and these churches are became nothing but a big incorporation. Now, this pastor was single for a very, very long time before he finally found a woman that he wanted to be in his whatever wife. Because I think he was married before and he got divorced, whatever. And then he's been single for a long time. And people excuse this type of behavior from a minister, from a pastor. God said in his word, and Paul said, because Paul said, I follow Christ. And the thing is that when Paul became arrested in Jesus Christ, he became arrested in Jesus Christ and he became spiritually arrested in Jesus Christ. And what Paul is saying is there's a reason why it's better to remain either single or get married than to burn. You mean what I'm saying? Either you're going to stay celibate, you're going to follow your ministry, you could do it alone, you're going to not want to have any, you want to be celibate. And some people, men can't do that. So, you can't do that in a ministry. You should have a wife. From the time you take this calling, you should have a wife. Now, I don't, we see all the sick things coming out in the church. We see the behavior of the church, and it comes from leadership in the church, and it's not corrected through leadership in the church. Or if they do correct it, maybe they correct it behind closed doors. I just don't know. But I know they financially abuse people, and I know they spiritually mess people up. As one way or the other, what's going on in that church is going to show by what comes into that church. Now, this woman who attacked the bishop's wife, the pastor Noel's wife, Bishop Noel Jones, I don't understand why they call him a bishop, because it's clearly saying the word of God that a bishop's supposed to only be married and have one wife. I mean, one wife. You see, if you could just tell people this over and over again, and people going to do what they're going to do. People going to believe what they're going to want to believe. But a bishop is only supposed to have one wife, not no 2 and 3 and 4 times married to have a wife and all of that. God didn't say that. See, people make up their own standards. See, God deals with, like I said, man, he could deal with all the physical things in the world, but God deals with your soul. I mean, your spirit. And some people get so caught up in the money game and so caught up in the worldliness. And this pastor, something ain't right about him. And if you remain single and you was leading a ministry while you were single and all these women were coming to church on the fact that they felt that you was going to be their husband. And you know these women coming this way and you was just taking advantage of them because women are vulnerable. These some lonely, desperate women out here, and they want a godly man, and they want a man to treat them right. They want a man to love them like Christ loved the church. They want a man's protection. They want a man's security. They want a da. You know, some women, they get caught up. And I was there too myself too before I got married. I was there too. And I was spiritually wounded at a church back in 2001. And I think I shared my story here with you guys. I don't know if I shared it. Yes, it was around what year was it? It was 2000 and no, this happened back in 2003. I'm sorry. And I was spiritually jacked up. Okay? I was spiritually jacked up. And I was real about being in church because I loved the Lord. But I was going through a whole lot of stuff at the time, and I felt like I was easy prey. You know, I was prey. So I'm just saying, I'm talking from experience, y'all. I will not be like these people automatically they attacking this woman who attacked the first lady. They attacking the woman who attacked the first lady. But they don't know everything. But this woman, of course, you're going to hear that this woman probably dealing with some mental illness. She's delusional about a lot of things, the things she said about this woman, the wife or whatever. And when I play the video. But the thing, she tells her side of the story why she attacked this pastor's wife. But like I said, this pastor, I'm sure he played on a lot of these women's emotions and a lot of these women's feelings. And then when he started flaunting this woman up in front of the church and bringing this woman around all these other women, and he probably went through that congregation. I'm sure he has. He's on some celebrity show now, some pastor's wives show, which I don't even think they should be doing shows like that on network, because that's not has nothing to do with the Lord Jesus Christ. That's not doing God's work. You either choose you're going to live for the Lord or you're going to live for the devil. You can't have both. You can't serve two masters. But I'm just saying he's on a celebrity show, and of course he got his fan base through that. People going to his church. People want to be associated with a big church like that, just like TD Jakes and all the rest of them. And they all got scandal, and they ain't none of them really doing what they supposed to be doing for the Lord. They doing it for themselves. It is all about money, but it's all going to come. It's all more to this story. And this wife that they were supposed to have been friends and all this other stuff for a very long period of time before they settled down to become open out to the public that they're going to marry and be a husband and a wife team and all of that. And we all know it's all about the Benjamins. It's all about the money. Because I'm looking at these pastors and I see the particular type of woman that they do pick to be they showcase as they first lady. They all seem to have the same kind of look for a first lady, and these women ain't nothing godly living about them. You can see in them they Jezebel. You can see in them they about money. You can see in these women they about, you know, status. And what the late Kevin Samuels will call them. What he called them again? Modern women, woman. That spirit is coming out in the world. These first ladies that sit up there in the pulpit, and you go to these churches and you let these people spiritually feed you, and you get up there and get spiritually drunk and demonized. That's why you have to step out of the way from the church for a while, and you need to get into the spirit, and you need to get into your reading your scriptures and talking to God for yourself, and to let God and Jesus be your bishop And he will reveal, and once you go to that book comes to life, and it will open up to you to see these demons in the pulpit, and they wives and everything else that goes on in those churches. A friend of mine was telling me a long time ago, and I never forget, they had said to me, because I was a real churchy. I got the hats, the bags, the clothes, the this, the that. I was, oh my God. You couldn't tell me nothing. Even my husband said, stay away from them churches. I mean, he would go with me every now and then, we'll go together and do our church thing and go pray at the church, or something's going on and we supporting somebody at the church. We go to the church and all that. Men's Day, Women's Day, whatever. And we believe in, certain things that we should give and help out with the church to, do outreach and ministries for outreach to help the people, to help with the, things that need to be dealing with building in the have certain resources in the community to offer to the people, to the families, and to the poor, and to whatever people for health care, ministry for that we can pay people to come in and do whatever ministry they have to do for health. Teach about health care, teach about people that live risky lifestyles. They need to be tested for HIV and things of that nature, and bring things like that. I truly believe in churches doing that kind of services for the work. But there is another kind of ministry, like for the ministers and the pastors to do. They sit at these big banquets. They put on this finage. They put on this show. They got their little cliques going on. They part of these organizations. They are part of the Nasons and the Eastern Stars, and they part of some Alpha Brothers, so Omega Brothers, some this, that. They bring in all that stuff in the church, and that ain't got nothing to do with Jesus. Nothing to do with Jesus. Your work's supposed to be on call to go out there and help minister the poor. And when Jesus talk about feeding them, Jesus talking about giving them spiritual food to nourish them, to nourish their soul, to nourish their spirit. Sometimes even get out there in the trenches. You have to get out there and do your work out there where you don't have to have all the security. God is your protector over your life. You don't need all of this stuff going on that, oh, I need security in my church to protect me and protect that and protect. Who's going to protect them? It's just the fact that you don't need all that. When you got Jesus, you should feel always bold enough to do your work anywhere you go. And if you feel your senses will tell you, no, don't go here, don't go there. Because there's some places Jesus was like, no, I ain't feeling it. I ain't going there. I'm outnumbered and I know these people going to come for me. So I'm going to have to do it this way. Oh yeah, he had demons coming at him, and he had to throw some of them demons into the swine. He had demons that attacked him when he came out. Late, what's that one? Legend and all of that. What's your name? I'm Legend. Had all these different characteristics. So you're gonna get these kind of things coming at you when you out there doing the Lord's work. But he said, don't be afraid, because I am with you. The Holy Spirit should be with you. But these ministers today, they live in large on the hog, and they doing all kind of stuff. A past, I just did one. I went to, some of these Christian channels that talk about some things that's going on in the Christian community and everything. And it was this one pastor. He had a wife, and supposed to have been a pastor and teaching about sins and about, I don't know about prosperity gospel, but he was teaching about sins and supposed to be the man of God and everything. And he was living a double life. And this happened with a pastor in Detroit. See, eventually God gonna expose these people. Jesus said he coming for the churches. And when Jesus said he coming for the churches, he doesn't necessarily mean a physical. He's coming for the physical building, but he's really coming for these people that's sitting up here being false prophets. When he said he coming for the churches, he coming to these people and he's going to expose them for who they really are. And some of you going to go right to hell with them. Because you sit up there, you're not reading your Bible, you being scripturally illiterate, and you just going by getting this show and having fun up in the church, and oh, he preached a good word, and a fashion show, and getting all of that entertainment that you get up in there. But that's not really what God business is all about. But like I said, Jesus is coming for the churches. He ain't gonna find a spot or a wrinkle. When he said he coming for the churches, he coming for a soul people that's truly living his righteousness. And it doesn't necessarily mean these men in the pulpit are taking you where Jesus is taking you. He says he ain't coming to die for you again. He already died on the cross for you again. I mean, he already been here to die for you. He already died for you. Jesus ain't coming back to die for you no more. This time he's coming to, you know, like I said, split, bust hell wide open. Just put it that way. Bust hell wide open and show you these devils. They say they of him and they not him. But back to what I'm saying about this pastor, all these pastors got the same similar type of wives that have to look like some. They all look alike. They all clone. They all look alike. They all got a particular type. But this pastor, Noel Jones, was single for a long time. And the man said the women would come in there in wedding gowns that they felt that he was going to be their wife. They get spiritually messed up by these pastors, believing some, I don't know what they teaching and what they pimping them with the word. They got one out there now, Dow, who put these young girls out there as virgins, giving them these rituals for the men. He's prostituting these young women, this cult. Dowell, somebody from some of the one of those religions of the Israelites. These cult religions out here. You got to be careful about you got to protect your soul. Because some of these people out here ain't spiritually right. And we're going to get into Jamal Bryant. I got one for you with him too. But let's go into this one. But what I was saying about that past, I'm sorry I didn't finish it, about the one that had a wife and everything in Detroit. This man ended up going to a place in some certain kind of park out in Detroit in certain times of the night or hours in the morning and everything to have sex with transgender men, transgender women, men that transition themselves into being a woman. That's what he went out to have sex, and he would, pay for. He was supposed to pay for the services that he was getting from the prostitute transgender, and the way they live. They, like these. This is sad, and this pastor goes there to meet up with this transgender trick. And after getting his services, he didn't want to pay for it. And he ended up killing the woman. He ended up killing the transgender because he doesn't want to pay for the services he got from this person. And I don't know what the conversation. This is what was told in the report. And he's now been sentenced for 16 years in jail for the life of this person. And the church women and the church people from his church is like saying this is a lie, this is not true, we're gonna pray for it. And that this man and his wife, she's she all messed up about it too. She don't want to believe it. She's in denial about the double life her pastor husband was living. To be honest with you, the real men in ministry and the pastor husband, whatever, your ministry is supposed to really be in your household, leading your family, making sure your household is right. Your kids is up and out of the way. You've been a man of God. You raised a family. You and your wife did it together as a team, and y'all did what y'all did. A man's true ministry is in his own household. Where he's supposed to serve God. These man-made buildings, that's ran by some business, some corporation, or the government or whatever. But the real ministry is in that man's home. How he takes care of his family. From the wife to the children, to the elders, to his brothers, to his sisters. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. That's where the real church is supposed to be at. In your home, with your life, with your family. It's supposed to be a family business. It's supposed, and then most of these churches out here, these Noel Joneses and these mega churches out here, they owned by the business of the corporate incorporation ministries, and they get money from the government to do this is a job for them in the community, to service that community and everything, and they have to, they get write-off taxes or whatever, tax breaks, whatever, and the money that comes in, and they make the money that whatever money they bring into that community and stuff like that, this money goes out to do what it has to do, bring health care, medical care, whatever that the services, it does a census of that community, and it services those type of people. But the most people who's paying the most in these churches, believe it or not, are really the people who are poor. And who are poor not in wealth, but poor and scripturally, I would say poor in spirit. They sending their kids here, things that, like, they going through a moment in their life or whatever like that. And they taking advantage of your spirit. That's why you got to be careful. That's how you got to be careful how you raise your children up. Let me tell you something. My parents, they went through whatever, it was a lot of drama. It was a lot of stuff went on in my family. But one thing my mother did teach us is that Bible. And she just didn't trust anybody around her children, even some family members, that if she felt that spirit wasn't right, we wasn't allowed to be at their house. And if we were at their house, she had to be there to be there to watch us, to make sure everything was okay. Oh yeah, we weren't allowed to go in certain family members' house, not even to spend the night. No, she didn't play that. That's why they say everything begins at home. Your upbringing all starts at home, because these are the kind of people out here that will mess your children up. These are the kind of people out here that will prey on the weak. These kind of people right here. But let's get into the story of this Noel wife being attacked by this woman. Let her to her side. She's mentally ill. She's spiritually messed up. But we know what? It came from somewhere.
On Sunday, August 13th, First Lady Loretta Jones was attacked during worship service. Loretta Jones is the wife of Bishop Noel Jones, the senior pastor of City of Refuge Church in California. Since the incident, a woman by the name of Regina Adams has confessed to assaulting First Lady Loretta Jones.
My name is Regina Adams, and I'm the one who punched Loretta Jones in the face.
There had not been any images of what transpired that Sunday inside the sanctuary, until now. Take a look and see what happened in the immediate aftermath of the incident. Warning, the following images may be upsetting to some.
At church fight, yeah. At church.
Over the fight.
In the video, you can see that a group of men had Regina Adams pinned to the ground before she began to scream for someone to get her purse. Also, if you look closely, you can see that Loretta Jones was taken out of the sanctuary. It is alleged that she was knocked unconscious. Some people have wondered.
Now, let me say this. This first lady, this man been single for quite some time up in the church. And somehow or the other, her being the first lady, she should have stayed very low key. She should never be too flamboyant, too flashy, and to antagonize those other women in the church. Because one thing about the first lady, you the buffer, but then again, you sometimes got to be a little low key. She was too flashy, and Paul speaks about that. She can't be too overly dressed and too flamboyant and doing all of that. That especially when her husband was a pastor, a single pastor in the church before he got married to her. So people like, whoa, he rejected these people. These women are now, they're going to wild out. They say, oh, I've been, probably paying tithes and probably throwing a little bit more love offerings in there and everything, a little extra more to help through the ministry, because they felt the more they was giving, the more this man will give them more and more attention, will be drawn to him. And now their money is taking, and the money is this woman coming in here flamboyant and flashy and wearing her, outfits and everything and all decked out and everything. And these women are suffering poorly, broken in spirit and raggedy and beat down and been hustled out of their money and everything. Come on, there's more to this story, y'all. But let's go on.
Why there was no security at the church, especially given the size and prominence of City of Refuge, and Bishop Noel Jones and First Lady Loretta Jones. However, videos show that before the incident, there were men guarding the pulpit. However, the incident took place at the end of service, after Bishop Noel Jones's altar call. Maybe everyone's guard was down because during the invitation, people are expected to walk down the aisle and give their life to Christ. Here is the scene before the incident.
Angels are rejoicing, church. Get happy for those people who are coming. Oh, come, let us adore Him.
Obviously, First Lady Loretta.
See, look at this. Oops.
What up, y'all? It's your guy Dawson from Dawson Speak TV and D&D TV. Thank you for rating, commenting, subscribing, and sharing the videos on this channel.
I don't know what
Much love to those who...
But that's not who I wanted. Okay, let's go back, y'all. Sorry I did that. I'm sorry. See, this is why I gotta... Let's go back. I was just about to point out something to y'all, and then I was interrupted by this Dawson video. Oh, God. Let's go back. Oh, my God. Well, let's listen to Bishop Noel Jones and the woman in the pew. Okay, so we're going to go back. We're going to just have to go with Dawson's video for now, because I was not meaning to get that video, but let me see something. Because I wanted to show you how this first lady, what I wanted to point out to you is how the first lady was kind of like, overly dressed and with the fancy hat on and the outfit on and everything. And that probably is what antagonized this woman to make the attack on his wife. But she's saying this woman been harassing her. This woman's been... Listen to her testimony, okay?
Yeah, that's her. She gave my daughter cancer for stopping her for over years. That's why I did that.
Okay, I don't know what they did here, but it seems like this video is not showing the right video at the time. But anyway, y'all, like I said, this woman, let's hear what the bishop say here. I didn't really want to hear it from this Dawson Speak guy, but I guess this is
support this channel by donating. I appreciate it. All that information is in the description box underneath the video. Also, make sure you hit the notification bell so you get notifications when I drop a new video. Now let's get into this topic. All right, thanks for clicking on the video. Now, this video is for educational purposes, and as I approach this topic with respect, I want you all to please, please, please be respectful in my comment section. Thanks. All right, now before I get into this topic, I have to say thank you to those of you all who sent your condolences, told me you were praying for me. That did my heart real good to get that from the YouTube community. I appreciate all of you. Denise and I gave each other our marching orders years ago on how we wanted to run both channels. So her handprint is on everything I do, so I will continue to go on in her honor, all right? And also to the viewers and subscribers who commented and told me that you were currently dealing with the loss of a loved one. I'm praying for you all. You know, Dawson got your back, all right? Let's get into this topic. Now, this story comes out of California, Los Angeles, California. Now, when this story originally happened on Sunday, August 13, 2023, my Denise was in the hospital. And during that time, my focus was on spending the last days, weeks, months, whatever God allowed with her. My focus was not on Bishop Noel Jones and Loretta, because a lot of people sent this story to me and they continued to flood my inbox with it. And it was like, okay, I get it, I see, but I got other stuff going on. Now, after the situation with Loretta happened that Sunday, I got word that she was okay, and she's doing okay even till this day. However, while Denise was in the hospital, we did talk about this. So this is like a continuation of the conversation we had. Now, for those of you who don't know, Bishop Noel Jones' wife, Loretta, was attacked on August 13, 2023 by a lady who attended the church named Regina Adams. According to Regina Adams, she claims that Bishop Jones' wife, Loretta Jones, and Loretta's son had been stalking her, and Loretta supposedly gave her daughter cancer, which is not true. She also went on to claim that Loretta had different people around her and her daughter abusing substance. Therefore, on Sunday, August 13, 2023, Regina Adams took it upon herself to go to City of Refuge, and according to her, Loretta came to her in the spirit. I want you all to hear this. Loretta came to her in the spirit and told her that today is the day. Are you going to hit me? Are you going to fight me now? Regina took it upon herself to attack Loretta Jones that Sunday after church. Regina Adams said on her Facebook vlogs, which are called Busted But Bless, that's what she calls it, Busted But Bless, she claims that she stopped eating meat. Who knows? Maybe she's a vegan or going plant-based, I don't know. But according to Regina Adams, when you stop eating meat, you hear what other people are saying in the spirit. Take a breath. According to Regina, when you stop eating meat, you hear what other people are saying in the spirit. Let me stop right here. Regina Adams, you're telling a damn lie. I stopped eating meat in May of 2009. My church at the time was going on the Daniel's fast, and my prayer at the time was, God, I wanted to do things different. I wanted to be healthy, and I laid off meat. That was my decision. From 2009 up until 2023, I don't hear what other people are saying in the spirit, nor does any of my plant-based or vegan friends or associates. And I have attended many plant-based vegan festivals on the East Coast and the West Coast, and I've never heard anything like that. I've never heard anyone on a panel on a... You know, the reason why he's going to make this story, and I'm going to tell you about Dawson Speaks in a minute, because I listened to some of his stuff that he come with about the community, the Christian community, and how he comes, especially giving you content on some things that ministers be doing and getting caught in. He did one on even one of my girlfriends. Her daughter was caught up in some scandal at his Kojic church out in Florida, no, in Georgia.
because he came out and he was caught up in some scandal with, being with a man, on OnlyFans, whatever thing. And some of the things, and I believe in these men shouldn't stop. You live in a double life and everything. Don't put nobody through that. But you got to be careful when they too flamboyant like that. And those men in the church, I really, really look at them more than I look at even the men out here on the street, the thug or the whatever, because they know how to cover it up real good, to the point where they convince women that they like women and all this other stuff with women, but they be living this double life. That's why I be saying, I be like thinking about some things about now when I hear them going too hard and too much at the men that are out there living as gay men, openly gay men, and the ones who's attacking the openly gay men all the time from the pulpit. I'm like saying, look, sometimes y'all going a little bit too much with this. And especially when I'm thinking about the, what's his name again? The one, Geno Jennings, the way he comes at these gay men and how he attacked them all the time. Sometimes it makes you wonder, like, you can't keep making fun at them. You call it out from the scriptures. You talk about it. And mostly, really, you're not supposed to be doing that. To be honest with you, in the church and everything, not unless they are struggling with it and they want the help that they need for you to help them walk them through the scriptures, that they need someone to help them get through it, pray for them. But if they want to live their life like that, it's not for us to be God and go out there and do the certain things we do. Yes, we're supposed to educate people about it in the Bible, but if that's only if they come for the help. You know what I'm saying? You don't just go out on your own and just start attacking this man and this transgender or whoever these people are. You're not supposed to do that. That's only if they ask you to pray for them because they struggling with liking men, and this is something they know they don't want to do. They don't want to get into a lifestyle like this. They know it's against the nature of God or whatever. They struggling with it, then yeah, you can pray for them. You can take them to the scriptures and you can tell them about this life. But for you to just come out and just come boldly out attacking the LGBT, all you're going to do is make them go harder at living that lifestyle. And eventually, they're going to attack back. And the next thing you know, you might be overpowered by it. So you got to be very careful how you attacking people going through their struggles in their marriage, with their sexuality, and all kind of other things. That's why God said, judge and not be judged, because eventually you might fall into the same thing you try to talk about somebody else about. So be careful with that. But anyway, let's move on. Like I said about Dawson Speaks, he does a lot of things. Like he does a lot on content on the Christian community, the scandal in churches, the downfall on some pastors or whatever. So people was like saying, but why you don't come so hard at Noel Jones, this man, but you seem to find ways to make excuses for his sins, but you're not coming hard. You know why? Because he said, well, that's my pastor. First he said, that's my pastor, and I don't care, they kick me out. No, because you on the payroll. You on the payroll. But you could go on everybody else's church and call out everybody else for their wrongdoings and their sins and the misguidance and the hypocrisy in the church or whatever, but you ain't gonna call out Noel Jones. Let's move on, y'all.
Plant-based or vegan events say that they can hear other people in the spirit because they stop eating meat. I've never even heard plant-based queen Tabitha Brown. God bless Tabitha and Chance Brown. We love them. I've never heard Tabitha say anything about hearing other people in the spirit because she stopped eating meat. There's nothing that this woman can say or do to justify her actions on that Sunday, August 13, 2023. It has nothing to do with her not eating meat. It has everything to do with the state of her mind. When I was talking to Denise about this particular case, she just shook her head and said, we've been talking about this for years. I said, yeah, I know. Mental illness in the church, outside of the church. And some churches, not all, some don't want to address it. Now, those of you that have been watching our show, you all know that I've been in the social service field, mental health field for over a decade. I've had countless clients like Regina Adams. Her actions and stuff that she's saying on social media, I'm not moved by it because I've dealt with men and women just like her, face to face, not online, face to face for years.
And those people have not been taken care of very properly through society. The mentally ill, they're overlooked a lot. And I'm going to tell you why, because I have had people in my family who suffer with this illness. I had a sister who went through a traumatic experience, who was brutally raped. Okay? Not only was she brutally raped, but she, by one of her coaches as a child, when she was just a teenager, used to molest her. And when he was molesting and everything, and we used to be like, well, why he take so much favoritism over you? And you know, my mother confronted this man. My father wasn't alive then because my father passed away when all of this was going on. Okay? And I had a sister who was brutally raped and left for dead in an abandoned building. And she lived the rest of her days on this earth. We used to get her to the hospital. We used to try to get all the medication, the prayer, the everything that we can possibly give her to help her make a breakthrough. And it just didn't happen. And she lived out the rest of her days. I lost my sister about maybe a couple of years ago. Because we already lost her before we physically buried her. So sometimes these mentally ill people with these spirits and everything, things might trigger them. And nobody really knows this woman real reason for her mental illness and her delusional behavior or whatever, is because nobody really understood her story of really what happened to her. It could have happened from somebody that brought her into this woman could remind her of somebody that did something like this to her. You know, you just, until you really know a person's story, you really can't say what you think you can say, that you can diagnose their sickness, or you can really because I worked with blah, blah, blah. Everybody got a different story. And what is the cause of what happened to them that makes them go off? So that's why I say these pastors, they be playing on these people's souls, because this shouldn't have it shouldn't have never happened that she could get out of pocket and go walk up to the pastor's wife and slap her and punch her in the face and everything. But this pastor's wife, she ain't so squeaky clean herself. We all come with some kind of demons in our lives, and sometimes it's going to be exposed in some kind of way. Somebody going to put the light on it.
My suggestion to her, and people like her, because there are many people in the church like her, trust me, she is not the only one, is to find Christian counseling. There are some saved, sanctified, blood-washed, spirit-filled psychiatrists, psychologists, therapists, counselors, people in the social work field that are anointed to assist you on this journey in life to help you deal with your mind. And for those of us who sit back and watch individuals like this, and we know they have some mental health challenges. We see how they're acting on social media. We see them going live. They're doing interviews with people and they're acting out or saying outlandish things. The love of God, or if you don't believe in God, the love for humanity, try to lead them in a direction to get them help, especially if you have their ear and you're talking to them. Don't exploit the people. Lead them in the direction to get help.
He said, don't exploit the people, but this is what these pastors do all the time. That's all they do, is exploit the people. Misleading the people, and especially the poor. And when I say the poor, I'm talking about those who are uneducated, who doesn't have a good education, or, they just living at a certain, you would say economically in certain places in their life. or people that are people that are disenfranchised, people that have disconnected from their loved ones and family. Some trauma some things happened in their home life, and it just like made them try to get away from it. They trying to find a family, they trying to find some place of safety and refuge and everything else like that. And they going through stuff out here. So you can't really say that these people ain't been trying to reach out to get the help. I mean, trying to get the help they need to cry until it has to come to this point where this lady had to get some attention, that she had to go and walk up to this pastor's wife and knock her out. You know, they come into church, they living off of these people's money, they wearing these fancy clothes and hats and bags, and these people suffering, these people are in pain, these people are unemployed, these people are dealing with a lot of stuff. And these pastors don't be spending no time or nothing like that to really help the people. All they and then they sit up there and they reach this prosperity gospel. But I feel the way like this about that church, whatever that church is, that pastor, when he got married and decided to get himself a wife, he should have never been placed back into that church. He should have been moved to another church somewhere else to minister with his new walk with God, with his new wife and everything, and didn't have to bring her out there to be a target by those other women, because those women were thinking, because they were probably there, they were doing everything, giving the money and probably doing all the extra work in the ministry or whatever, that he was going to pick them as a wife. They should have had that man removed from that pulpit, and if they wanted him to continue under the ministry that they have, they could have moved him somewhere else and start his whole new ministry somewhere else where nobody know him. That's what they should have did. But I'm going to stop right here, y'all, because I got to go. But I just wanted to just bring this. If you want to, continue listening to it and watching it, you can go to Dawson Speaks TV channel and that other channel that I had up here. If I'm sorry, I wasn't able to keep that channel because basically I wanted to hear what she had to say, but I was running my mouth, of course, because I wanted to just, you play other people's videos and everything. You want to give your commentary. You don't want to think that you taking from them. You hear the video, you engaging in the conversation, but you engaging with it somewhere else off their channel and not and just whatever you got to. If you have any feedback to whatever, let's hear the conversation and comment in the comment section. And if this is your first time to the Casey McDaniel channel, hit that like button, like, share, subscribe, and also leave your comments below so I can go and read them and I can also engage in a conversation with you. So thank you for tuning in. Until next time, you all have a blessed and wonderful Tuesday afternoon. Peace.